Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Nightcap Knowledge. It's time to put the kids to bed. It's your nightcap. Definitely gonna put some on your head before you go to bed. Share this live with somebody right now. DJ George, Chuck, Mr. Mac. We're in the building and we have a special guest coming on. It'll be a surprise. We'll talk about a variety of things. Excuse me. But it's definitely a time to be alive. And it's a great day to have a great day. So let's have a great night. It's Nightcap Knowledge. All right. Welcome to another episode of Nightcap Knowledge. Shout out to everybody over on Twitter, man. Twitter, whatever y'all want to call it. X be jumping. Wakanda forever. That's what we're gonna call it.
X. I was gonna do DMX on or
X.
Exhibit X.
X.
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever.
I have not watched Wakanda forever yet. I have not watched it. Hey, man. You know, it's certain stuff you haven't watched because like, man, you know, it's you're like, I have not watched God, what's the name of it? And we bought the DVD. Michael Jackson last This Is It.
Really?
Yeah, I remember we got it. Brand new. Just haven't watched it. You know, it's just like, okay, you gotta have the time, like, I need to watch this. I gotta focus, gotta pay attention, right? You already know. Like, hey man, you know, classic. It's going to be something that you're going to want to get into. But hey, you know, that's what we do here. And for those who don't know who we are, this is Nightcap Knowledge. And this is what we do. Real talk, real issues, real solutions. We're going to tell it like a TI is. This show is rated black and uncensored. So if you don't want to hear no real shit, take your ass to bed. And there it is.
Take your ass to bed, man.
Take your Rudy Poot candy ass.
Okay. Go with the wrestling. Hey, look,
The Rock.
Watch this. So McRae's new team, they're the Prime. They're Prime baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Prime. So of course when they break it down, they go, you know, Prime on me, Prime on 3, 1, 2, 3, Prime. And then they end it with 2 claps and a Ric Flair. So they go, woo!
Woo! Man, but you know, from professional, like, I know they showed the Cardinals and they showed several teams. 2 claps and a Ric Flair. Like, the woo don't have a name no more. It's just called the Ric Flair.
Yeah. That's it.
I think you look at some people like that, regardless of how it's like you have how you feel about the person. You've been able to reinvent yourself and stay relevant.
Mm-hmm.
You are a 75-year-old white man from North Carolina.
Yeah.
By I forgot where he originally from, and you are as relevant as some of the black rappers that are 40 plus years old.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's my Ric Flair, and people
And
say
I mean,
so.
it's
For
it's to some of those 40-year-old black rappers credit that because they have these Ric Flair references, right? When you say,
right,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, and but it's just like those type of folks are only born so many different like every 40 or 50 years. You think about like a James Brown,
yeah,
how you still got folks sampling some of his stuff, you know.
yeah, yeah.
It's just you set a path and you build a foundation, and it just you had a certain level of coolness. It came with a lot of a lot of feedback, but it was just like it was just you being you. Eh, Off the
Very,
subject, but on the
very
subject.
unique figures. James Brown, Ric Flair, very unique
Oh,
figures.
but they didn't get it. They didn't get it easy.
Yeah,
A lot of those folks that have that type of persona, that they didn't get it easy. Um, you know, find out Ric Flair was, uh, he was adopted from an orphanage, but he was stolen from his original mother, and they ended up in an orphanage.
yeah.
So it's just it's like you talking about trauma, like when you talk about today's time, like trauma, but then you normalize. We were talking about that about normalized chaos. I was talking to one of the what Chuck?
Uh, Kenosha says that you look as though you're about to read a bedtime story, and he's also telling me that I have an echo, and there's nothing I
That's
can
me.
do about the echo because we're a poor podcast, and Mac
We
needs
need
a computer, and we need a sponsor. So Mac is going to read. I don't know what he's about to read, but he's about to read something.
who was
Who
Betty
was
White.
Betty White? Go ahead, Mac.
One Tuesday evening, as we sat down by the fire, well, sat down where the fire's supposed to be, we will read about Betty White. The end.
All right,
Hey, do you remember when Bush dumbass was reading that book with them children,
I
and the
do.
book was upside down, and he was up there talking to the children, and the children. Why don't we put the black children in the front and show them off? But our children and their facial expression, children looking at him like this. He up here reading the book to the children. In the book, ain't nobody told him that this book is upside down.
So what was he reading? What was the man
They,
reading?
it's just like you just can't make that up. As we talked about at another, Chuck and I was at another event earlier this year. I mean earlier today, and we just talk about the relevance. How they take incompetent, illiterate,
But well
special
connected.
ass,
But well connected.
well connected,
They
and
were
they
caught up in the system. They
and
were
put
trained.
you way up here, and you looking like this mug. It's about as bad when Agent Orange said, "I'm going to reach out to the president of Puerto Rico."
I'm going to reach out to the president of Puerto Rico, and we're going to see what we can do. Yes, yes. I promise. This is my word. I will. Man,
That's a good Agent Orange there, Chuck. That's good job
I
there.
get it. I get it from Ro. Ro is a radio host here on the Mississippi
Yeah,
Gulf. Shout out to JZ 94.5, Mr. Rip Daniels, and I forget what Ro's last name. It might be Williams.
yeah,
Um, yeah, but Ro does a great Agent Orange impression
yeah. And people
and great
like, what?
Tater T's impression too.
A great who?
Tater Tot. Well, I don't want to disrespect Tater Tots like that because
No,
I like
man, because
Tater Tot.
yeah, I'd like tater
Yeah.
tot. We did
So Tate
spoiled
Reeves.
taters, spoiled taters,
Yeah.
one
Uh,
spoiled tater. Hey, we just literally Jay just threw away a bag of potatoes because they had one spoiled tater and it ruined the whole bag. So one spoiled tater or ruined the whole bag.
Lord have mercy. This Nikki VT. Okay. What is Nightcap Knowledge? Nightcap Knowledge is the show that's rated black and uncensored. We tell it like a TI is. And we
Real
put
talk,
something
real
in your
issues.
head before you go to bed. Real talk, real issues, real solutions. So if you don't like that, you might want to make your exit. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for leaving a comment. And we got some people to get to backstage. We got
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
a gentleman who is no stranger to the show. No stranger to the show. And he is actually the featured speaker for Network Your Net Worth Mixer, which is this Thursday. And it will be all going down at Center Stage Event Center. That is in North Jackson, Mississippi. North Jackson, Mississippi. Great facility, appropriate facility for any of your upcoming special events. And you can RSVP for this event on the Black owned event management platform, Event Noir. We'll have complimentary beverages, door prizes, and of course, we always have a special drawing for a center stage event package. So this is all brought to you by Mississippi Black Pages in conjunction with Center Stage Event Center, and bring it to the stage, Dr. Marcus Cheney. Welcome to the show again, Dr. Cheney. What's up?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Doing great, doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
The boy got his ears
Excuse
on.
me,
Look at him.
my sinuses are draining. Oh, I just left a soccer game with my grandson.
Oh, how you do?
He did fairly well for an 8-year-old.
Okay, okay.
So have my granddaughter out there with me, and so she cheered her cousin on, and we stood outside for about an hour or so.
Yeah. So did they win?
No, they lost by 1 goal.
Oh
They lost
man,
by
okay.
1. It was 2-1.
2-1. That
Two to
ain't a bad
one.
soccer match. That ain't a bad soccer
No,
match.
not a bad soccer match. Not a bad. And he scored the 1 goal.
My guy. My guy. That's what's up, man. You know, my youngest son plays soccer.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah. So this is his first year playing soccer. So he's more into football and baseball.
Uh-huh.
But want to put him out there, and he's doing really well for his
Man, look,
first year, and he's
I,
8. So
I would
doing
I
pretty
would have
good.
I would prefer that you push this young man towards soccer and baseball.
Then baseball.
Soccer and baseball
Oh,
versus
soccer
football.
and baseball. Versus football.
Throw it out the window. Just coming from a guy that played football growing up too.
I understand. Well, his dad played football, so it's kind of I was
Tell,
not a football person, but baseball, I got you on that one for sure.
yes.
Definitely for
Yes.
sure on baseball.
Have you ever seen the Savannah Bananas, Doc?
You know what? I just read about them today. They were down in Baton Rouge. I think it was last night.
Mm-hmm.
And LSU women's basketball coach, she threw out the first pitch and they did a little skit. But yeah, that's the first time I ever heard about them. Was from the article I read this morning.
Yeah, we saw them Friday in Baton Rouge. They had a I guess a 3 or 4 game stand in Baton Rouge, and then we played a baseball tournament that Saturday, got rained out Sunday, but our boys had enough runs to be declared the winner of the tournament.
Oh, excellent, man!
Mhm.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Well, we done
Are
had a
you
whole.
coach? Are you coaching or? Oh, okay.
I am the media dad. I play the walkout songs, and
Okay.
I'm the cheerleader. Uh,
Okay.
the designer of things for the program. So they got dope little hoodies and jackets and t-shirts and the fan gear for the parents. And we have a very, very capable shout out to our coach, Marcus Whitfield. He's a Kappa, went to Stillman. His dad is pastor of Morning Star Baptist Church. So great
Okay.
family. We got a really, really good unit of parents, and they got some really, really talented kids. So we're proud of them. So we playing. They throwing the ball now, like it's kid pitch.
Okay.
They
Okay.
putting it across the plate too.
That's all right. That's what you
Mhm.
want them to do. That's what you want them to do.
Yeah. So look, Doc, tell us what you gonna be talking about this Thursday at the Network, your net worth mixer. We know y'all got a number of businesses that you've been developing, and you got some new things that you got popping off. So tell us what you got coming up, and how folks can tune in and tap in with you.
One of the things when I was approached about speaking, I thought about not only what we do from a business standpoint,
Yeah.
but some of the concerns in the state. And so my whole focus on Thursday evening is going to be talking about health disparities in the state of Mississippi, really what that effect has had on the African American community. So that is where I am really leaning toward.
Okay.
There's a huge concern. I should say the state needs to have this huge concern about the citizens of the state of Mississippi, not as much as just the African American community, but all of the community. Whereas the state, we're ranked just last in almost every aspect when it comes to health. I know that we have these concerns about, using the word Medicaid or Medicaid expansion, but I really don't think our legislators have researched enough about that to really truly understand how that can affect the state without expanding the monies that we're receiving from the federal government. In hand, we're not taking the money; we're returning money.
Right.
And it has been a huge effect on the citizens of the state of Mississippi, especially those that are Black and Brown communities. So that is where my focus is going to be, really and truly. It talks about, when we talk about health disparities, we talk about poverty.
Yeah.
We also talk about opportunities for people to get job opportunities, especially in the health field.
Yeah.
So I'll be focusing a lot on that and talk about the programs we have in our school, and really talk about how those type of programs can make a difference. And that's really the real reason that we really would like to expand in the next 3 to 5 years across the entire state, not just be based in the Jackson metro area, but deliberately place a school in particular areas to just be able to assist those areas in their healthcare needs.
I appreciate you pointing out the fact that we've left money on the table. Mississippi saying we as a state, we've left money on the table as it relates to uh preventing or roadblocking or basically just saying we're not going to expand Medicaid because it has a connection to Obamacare is how I understood the legislature when they said that we're not going to expand Medicaid, and we don't want to give people a free ride. So I think we've been playing a battle of communications, and the and I'm gonna say I guess I'll say it like this. I believe that the Republican Party has won the communications battle of the ear for the American people, or the majority of the American people. And I think that the Democratic Party has done a poor job of expressing exactly what they believe their agenda to be. And I'm not endorsing one or the other, because I think both of them in this two-party system is not serving our our country, no, especially the state of Mississippi. I do not believe the two-party system serves us well. I think that we need to encourage people to vote selfishly and start at the extremely local levels. What are your
So,
thoughts about that?
so I agree. But one of the things that's crazy though, The poorest state in the country does not mirror the other states that surround that state. Arkansas, a Republican state, red state, took all the Medicaid money.
Every last bit of it.
Every last bit of it.
And they got really nice parks and stuff too.
They do. That's my home state. But again, they took the money because they realized that they needed the money to be able to provide health care for the entire state. I think what happens, you talk about the communication. I think what's happening is that it seems like one party is stuck on thinking that expanding Medicaid is going to lead to the betterment of a certain group of people. But I am here to tell you that is not the case. And if you look at the demographics of the state of Mississippi, you will find that a number of citizens, all citizens, I should say, across the state of Mississippi are in need of Medicaid expansion. They're not making any money, so they need assistance. So I think that's where the communication, I think, in the state of Mississippi goes about saying, well, we don't want to help because we know if we do this expansion, it's not really our money, it's really the federal money.
Right.
We're going to help those folks that maybe they don't look like us. But unfortunately, they really have not done their study. And the sad part about it is, I say this, a lot of constituents who continue to vote for people in the state, they really are not being helped. They're just voting because that's who they think can assist them. It's not really who's really assisting them. When you look at, I had a former legislator tell me, when you look at our Census Bureau, so when you look at our last census count, we have lost a number of, from the population standpoint, in the state of Mississippi. And if we continue on this road, the state of Mississippi can hurt. I think the problem is we look at other states who are much larger, much more fruitful, have much more money, have much more industry, and they can survive. But when you look at states similar to Mississippi, be it Arkansas, be it Alabama, even Georgia, I think what you find that a lot of times we're missing the punch. And again, this is not coming out of state funds. We're returning money. This is coming from federal money. And so it's a sad situation. And I think that, when we look at it from health disparities, we look at the point that we're just last in almost everything. When you talk about being healthy in the state of Mississippi, we're not a healthy state.
Yeah.
We don't really eat right. I'm kind of guilty of some of that. As Max sits there and shake his head. But sometimes it's getting the opportunities to go out into those communities and really to express to them, these are the right things that you need to do to stay healthy. These are the right things you need to do to stay with us longevity. A lot of that is not being done. I have to throw a shout out though. The Mississippi Department of Health has established a whole division of community health workers, and where they have them in areas throughout the state, and they're continually training those community health workers and to be able to go into those communities. And they're hiring people who are primarily in those communities that are spreading the word about good healthy things that they should be doing, making sure they're going to utilizing the health clinics to go to the doctor, getting those physicals every year, just really doing a lot of prevention. And we happen to be our our school, College of Health Service and Careers, happens to be one of the contractors for the program. But again, it's about trying to get that out within the entire state of Mississippi to ensure people have longevity with their lives.
Yeah. You make a lot of good points. I really like the shout out that you gave to the Mississippi State Department of Health and their community health worker program. That was one of the last projects that I had the pleasure of working on when I was at Tougaloo. We created a community health worker training program. A lady by the name, what's Johnny's last name? I can't remember, but she was from up in the Delta, and she was one of my coworkers at Tougaloo, and we had this community health worker program. I think it might have been a partnership that we created with a couple other, like Blue Cross Blue Shield and some more folks. But then we also did a pilot where we constructed the walking trail at the front of campus, had the exercise station. So it was a third mile walking trail with the exercise pods or stations around the pond area. And it was always my idea that what does it look like if Mississippi made more walking trails? And I think Arkansas has a lot of like hiking trails, and then
They do.
they connect in some kind of way. Like you can almost hike through the countryside in a sense. And if you want to hang out and go fishing, and if you want to then hike a little bit, or if somebody over here is fishing, then you can go over here and do this thing. And it's just a healthy thing to go hang out in the woods and connect back to nature, and not necessarily be truly and tapped in all the time on our phones and all of that. So I think with you bringing up these ideas around ways that we can, one, be healthier, the State Department of Health having those community health workers, if we could get one brave senator or representative to propose some legislation that maybe we get a few more hiking trails that connect, some more sidewalks. If you got developers that are building these new neighborhoods, why don't we have some sidewalks that connect all the neighborhoods so that you can walk, or hiking trails that connect the neighborhoods, and not really just focus on us being like this state that has to move inside of vehicles, or where we have to always get in a car. If my kids wanted to ride the bike to their friend's house that live on either side of where we live at, they couldn't do that, because I'm not letting them ride on Highway 53. Now, if we had some hiking trails, they could maybe even get on the 4-wheel and ride over there, but we don't have that. And I think that's something that we want to be in the woods. You want to, have the Mississippi Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, and you want people to go hunting and reconnect with nature, but you're really not making it accessible for the people that don't want to go hunting. So I think we gotta tap some Mac. I know you know all these people, don't you? Let me unmute you. There you go.
He's having a hard time.
No, I was just leaning forward, but I was thinking that we talked about how everything is connected, and so Mississippi, we talk about. I think I don't know how many years ago, but it's talking about coming up with a way to retain the youth. They go to high school, they leave high school to go to college. They graduate college, they leave the state. Are you talking about your tally of 10 leave? And like, how do you retain them? Well, you got to retain them with opportunity. You got to retain them with resources. You got to retain them with growth. And we talk about that with expanding Medicaid, and we talk about the black, the black pages mixer is business, right? How would that spark the economy? But also, how many lives would it save? And it would cure so many problems at one time, because now you have different things that are connected to healthcare that you might not even think about it. You have to expand facilities, right? So that means you got to do construction. That means people that got HVAC license, people that run dozers, people that run trucks. Now you have created more jobs for them to stay, right? They're gonna need Wi-Fi, right? Wi-Fi is definitely a thing. You gotta have backup generators. You gotta have gas. You gotta have water. By expanding and bringing opportunity for growth, you're going to employ so many different people that might not even go into healthcare field, but the opportunity. And this is where we get on board about black businesses and minority contracts, getting the certifications that we
There
can
you
go
go.
straight to work to be there to say, I'm certified, I'm licensed and bonded, I got my truck ready, it's up to date, I got all my records in there, I'm ready to go to work.
You know
Everybody's
you
making
you
money
you
off of one decision.
right, and you said a key. I'm gonna tell you the state that it's crazy. I call them. They're not really a state. They people who live there. It's almost the United States of Texas. What they have done in Texas, and it amazes me, even from a high school and then to a college.
Mm-hmm.
Um, One of my good friends, fraternity brothers, what one point in time was principal of Duncanville High School, which is right there outside of Dallas, Texas. He was there 5 years. That high school requires every student, doesn't make a difference where you are academically.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take care, you have to have a vocational trade and a certificate before
I
you
like that.
graduate. You not only graduate with your high school diploma, but you graduate with a vocational trade. They have everything under one roof. Secondly, in the state of Texas, they have established, from an educational standpoint, they have established something equal to um, the for Title IV funds or a grant. So in the state of Texas, they have a Texas grant. You can go as a high school graduate of a Texas high school, you can go to a public or private school and apply for this particular grant. What does that do? Matt just said it. It entices those folks not to ever want to leave Texas. It entices
That
them to
is.
want to stay in the state. And then the way the legislators, if you disagree or agree with the legislators, but what it does, in 4 to 5 years, these same folk that you've helped, they're going to stay in the state, and all of a sudden they're going to be working full time. And guess what? Then they're going to start paying. They don't even pay state taxes, but they're going to be able to be there, buy houses,
Yeah.
apartments, and that whole economy. That's why Texas keeps flourishing over and over again, because they're taking care of the citizens of Texas. And so what Mac just said, it's very crucial, because for example, if you have a, let's use the Delta. If
Mm-hmm.
you have a hospital, let's say in Greenville, the hospital in Greenville,
Yeah.
if you are, you know, filling the positions with not just
Oh, somebody called him. Hey, you probably gonna have to go out and come back in, Doc. We can't hear you.
which are, your nursing assistants, your radiology people, all of the people like that. Guess what that does to the Delta? They're going to live there.
Yep.
So, which means that you have housing development, which means, just like Max said, you got to have people to build the housing. So that's how you grow your economy. We're just one part of it,
One part.
but it can actually trigger other things that can be developed. So I just think that sometimes our legislators don't think through the process. Um, Maybe they don't have the right people talking to them through the process.
Yeah.
Um, and maybe, again, maybe they're not bold enough, as you just said, Chuck, maybe not bold enough to be able to come out and say, hey, this is what we need to do for the betterment of the state. Doesn't make a difference what class, what color, what's for the betterment of the state of Mississippi.
I have
But
a
you got to have folks.
go ahead, man.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Go ahead, man.
No, so you got to have folks that actually want to see things better, right? If your main focus is making sure that that group don't do better, because it might be one, two, or three of us that will benefit on a
Mhm.
large scale. Right. They changed laws across the country because everybody had this myth that black folk got a stimulus check when COVID hit and they stopped working. They got two $1,400 checks, and everybody said, you know, we hit the lottery. That's the narrative. But what happened to those folks that had money that was working when they got those stimulus checks? He said, well, you know what? I got an additional 3,000, additional $4,000. Let me see what this investment thing look like. Let me buy some stock.
Yep.
They bought the stock. They bought the stock. They bought GameStop. They bought the movie stock.
AMC.
It blew it all up, and then they pulled their money out to the point where they had these conversations on Wall Street, to the point where they hacked black groups. They paid money to get in black investment groups just to say a lot of ninja words, right? Because the fear factor was, if they get a little bit of money, what they gonna do with it? You ain't talking about the folks that's gonna go trick it off. You're thinking about, it might be 100 go trick it off.
Yeah.
But 10 of them might take that money together and create a company that might give us some real competition. That one fear factor, they will blow up a whole Middle Eastern village, because there's 20 years from now, there's a chance that they might do something to us. That thought process started with us and it continued with us, because looking at the numbers of where we are when it comes to the electoral process, that's scary. When we get up to 40%, that's scary. That means there's some folks out here making some moves. If you can get that money, if we had a black version of Watkins Construction that you can actually bid for these large contracts.
Yeah.
And you can take these cats and go to these schools and go to these schools, have almost I'm just talking as I'm thinking, have a conference of shop teachers and vocational teachers around the state, predominantly black schools, and say, hey, who not going to college? I ain't going to college.
Come
you
on.
want to work on a job? I got a job for you when you graduate.
Come on.
Start off as a low man. You ready to work? You can do
Yeah.
on the job training, and then we'll take you through a process and get you certified in whatever discipline you want to be certified in. I like that. When you tell them that you're going to start making $20 an hour.
Yeah. And you'll
You know
be
what I'm saying?
by 3 o'clock.
But what the mama gonna say? What the daddy gonna say? They can do what? They can make $20 an hour. Well, you better go on out there. That type of mentality is.
Here's the question that I have.
Yeah.
We have these things known as early college.
Yeah.
We have the dual degree programs. And from Dr. Cheney, what you described with those Title IV funds that Texas is using, Mac, why haven't our legislators made it easier for kids to not just do the dual degree program, or to do the dual degree program and do the vocational thing, where by the time they graduate high school, they got a vocation, an associate's degree, and they're halfway done with their college. And the next thing you know, because you've got all of these skills and you've got you've done an internship, or you have this relationship that's been built with this company that is geographically close to where you've been growing up your entire life. Why aren't we creating that system?
I mean, we got systems that are, we got people that are working, and it's not a large system that's pushed by the state. JPS has some programs where you can start working on taking some college classes, and there's some vocational programs. Our friend, alumni Maximus Wright, brought folks from across the country to talk about opportunities and fellowship for our students. But as a state, pretty much what you're saying is why
Why is it not a state?
No pun to Texas, right? Are you trying to say the good old boys in Texas are smarter than the good old boys in Mississippi? And this is a shot at the good old boys, and we ain't in this shit. I mean, we just might benefit because they created that in Texas for them, right? We might benefit from it,
Let's be selfish.
but I'm saying that's who they create. I'm talking about the white folk. I'm talking about the good old boy system. But there are opportunities where you might benefit from it. But the thing about it is, I think with us in Mississippi is things like that where you might benefit from. Start talking about options. Let's talk about changing the way poverty looks. When you give more options to parents and more options to the child, because it's gonna happen one or two ways, right?
Yeah.
The parents have a better opportunity to take care of themselves. They provide a better lifestyle for the child. The child have better decisions, right? The child have a better opportunity to make more money. The child can go now take care of the parent and pull the parent up. Either way, you start to get people off of systems. When you start to get people off of systems, then you don't have as many things to control them with. When you can't control them, then they can stand on their own too. That means you got to have a level of respect and you got to deal with them one on one. You don't have no puppet strings to pull where you can make one group of folks do this. Right. We just had this conversation about census, and all this is connected because you start looking at data. When you start looking at data, you start saying, well, this is why we need this program, this is why we need this funding. And we have more funding in this area, we could be able to take care of more people when it comes to health disparities. But you put narratives out there that if you feel like your census uh, Agent Orange is going to steal your information. Oh, I ain't gonna fill out my census. Don't you fill that out? So only 2,500 people in this area fill it out. But when it comes down to funding, you got 35 to 4,000 that apply,
Right.
that are in need of it. The money is not available because only 2,500 filled it out because you have put that narrative. When Senate, not Senate bill, Initiative 42, you had legislators that traveled around the state that told them that a judge in Hinds County is going to make a decision, right, based on our education system.
Yeah.
That they're going to take the money from these good schools across the state and give it to those bad schools in Jackson.
Yeah,
that's the narrative they put out there.
But that's a communications battle. That goes back to my point from earlier. It's like we're losing the communications battle.
Well, they lie. They lie is better than our truth. And the thing is,
communications.
It's a narrative that folks want. But I'm saying it's the narrative that people want to paint of how things look. And when you don't know the facts, you have a trusted person that's an elected official that has a top name, top ranking, and they come and tell you this thing, and people believe it.
Yeah, look, we got somebody chiming in the comments. Maisha Nyla. She says that her kids did dual enrollment, graduate high school with an associate's degree and another graduate high school as a veterinary assistant. Like, I know that there are programs that exist in the state. Like, we have one of those here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. But what we're saying is Texas has this thing where it's widely adopted and it's a part of their state improvement plan. Like when you go to work and you don't do things well, they put you on a performance improvement plan. When in God's name is Mississippi gonna put itself on a performance improvement plan? Like all of the legislators need to. Where's the report card and where's their supervisor that says, look, tater tot, spoiled potato, you got to do better.
Well, it's just like I'm telling you what we are. When you have that fast food restaurant that you pull up to, and you get terrible service, and you like, look, I ain't got to put up with this. Let me speak to your manager. I am the manager.
Damn.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, well, who you gonna complain to?
He's like, I ain't coming.
So
that's why
this is why we do what we need to do, right? And we just don't talk. We talk about solutions for problems, like the mixer, having these conversations, encouraging people like, hey, you need to be an active voter. Hey, you need to have your own LLC. Hey, what are some of the issues in your community or that's going on with your family or in your life? What can you do about it? What are you planning to do about it? And it goes back to being able to have funds. If you go to school not just for an opportunity to build long-lasting relationships, the goal was for you to get a degree so you can go get a job or start a business so that you can be self-sustainable, so that you can take care of yourself and take care of your family. That's why you go. And what we're starting to see more of, that one thing we're missing in the country, but in Mississippi, is skilled labor,
Mm-hmm.
right? Skilled
Hmm.
labor.
Hmm.
Big shout out to Commissioner Stamps. He always talk about it. When the last time you saw a broke plumber? Now I know somebody. I know a bad plumber. We ain't gonna call no names, but I mean he ain't broke because somebody's still paying him, right?
Yeah, you got
But
a experience with that.
well, but what I'm saying is that people are gonna need different folks. For us, now you can still do that. Now, listen, you can still do that. You can be an IT specialist by day, and you can run a dozer on the weekend. Because that's what we are, and that's what we need.
That is beautiful. We appreciate you offering that comment, Maisha. She says Mississippi
Yeah,
has nowhere to go but up. I'm so happy to have connected with y'all. I came here wanting to help. So look, if you can you go to
we need all that.
mississippi.move.org, msmove.org. We've got a lot of volunteer opportunities.
Drop the link, Chuck.
I'll drop it in the comments, but msmove.org is the link. It is very findable on all social media platforms and the so we'll get that into the comments right quick. So one more time for Dr. Cheney,
Go
we've
ahead, Chuck.
got Network Your Net Worth Mixer. It's this Thursday, March 21st at 6 p.m. at Center Stage Event Center. That's in North Jackson, Mississippi. This is brought to you by Mississippi Black Pages in conjunction with Center Stage Event Center. We'll be talking healthcare, health disparities, and business and how it all works together to build a better Mississippi, one business at a time. Doc, you got any closing words for us? We got some other announcements we got to get to.
No, just I appreciate everything that you all do across the entire state. I think a lot of people don't really realize everything that these two brothers do with their team, including Sabir, Trina. I just really appreciate everything that you're trying to do and trying to make a difference in the state. I think if we had more folk like you guys, um, man, the state would be in a whole lot better place. And so I really just appreciate everything you guys do, how you get it across, and how you really are trying to make sure that the state is becomes a better state. And so I just really appreciate that. But that's it, brothers.
Look, we appreciate you saying that, and if we're not gonna grow weary in well doing. When we need to build ourselves back up and go sit on somebody's couch and talk to them, or have a drink, and as Max says, some smoke therapy. Uh, we we will do just that, and we're gonna keep on coming. And if we can get more people, like Maisha, she says her passion is healthcare. Look, we
All
are
right.
ready. We are going to get Maisha signed up for some volunteer opportunities. That information is right there. Visit msmove.org. And of course, Sabir will respond to you, and he'll get you plugged in and pointed in the right direction for some of our upcoming volunteer opportunities with Mississippi Move. And we gonna keep moving this thing forward. All gas, no break, man. All gas, no break. Mac, you want to go through some of these other announcements that we got?
I was gonna tell you put the drop the school in there real quick so she can check it out and connect, because with her having a healthcare background might be something. Maybe a good connection. Um,
MSHSC School, and I'll throw it up on the
but
screen.
we
Go
got
ahead.
big events. We're talking about black business. We're talking about networking. We're talking about opportunity to help others. We have a great event going on this Friday during our Feel Good Friday. We have a game night, karaoke and game night. We're talking about a lot of fun at Hemp World South and Therapeutic Lounge, 4270 Robinson Road, right across the street from Piccadilly. Come check it out. The information is on the flyer. You'll be able to go and there's an admission because it is a fundraiser, right? It's a fundraiser. It's to help someone is working to raise money for their cause. So this is a fundraiser. So we are trying to do what we can to help our community. I want you to reach out to the folks. And contact us if you're interested in participating or you want to know more about the event. But we are trying to do good things in the South. That's what we're trying to do, and trying to bring events to places where there aren't anything at. That's what our belief is. And versus going sort of similar to the sister, versus going somewhere where there's already something going, we try to bring something to where there's not anything yet. So come check out Hemp World South this Friday for the karaoke and game night. What else we got, Chuck?
Mac, we got the link for the school up on the screen right now. Visit mshscschool.com for more info about B1 Foundation and the Mississippi School for Health Services and Careers and all of the work that Dr. Cheney's doing. Or you can show up this Thursday and learn more about that in person. The next thing that we have coming up is the really, really free market. The really, really free market. This is brought to you by Cooperation Jackson. This is a market where everything is absolutely free and no money is needed. It's all going down March 23rd, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And if you need more information about this, you can go to cooperationjackson.org. And we're
Man,
actually participating with that in some regard. So I think what we're trying to get people in the mindset of is you can do some bartering, and
yeah,
I can give you a sack of oranges, and trade me the whatever that you got that you're not using, and you want some oranges, and then they get you the oranges that you need for the week. So I appreciate them, using this as a tool, a teachable moment where you can say, look, let's get back to offering mutual aid with things that we might have around our house that we no longer have use for, and we're allowing people like, I ain't gonna call no names, we give away stuff when it could be going to somebody in our neighborhood and our community.
hmm, hmm. But it said charity start where?
At the
Right at home.
house.
Right at home.
So and it's stuff that right around the corner. Um, I always try to do what I can to take care of my neighbors. You know, and look out for your neighbors because your neighbors look out for you, and you want to make sure that they have resources. You work as a
Right.
unit. And so that's what we talk about. You always take care of your home. I'm always going to do something in Holmes County, something in Lexington. I want to make sure that folks have what they need. And so it's amazing that we have this conversation about healthcare and about all this stuff, but Mississippi has so much rural land, so much rich soil, and
Yeah.
we're not utilizing it to the maximum capacity. Like we got food deserts, we got places where people are starved. Well, yet and still, we at the top of the list when it comes to obesity and people that have bad diets. So we are not using the gift that the Creator has blessed us with. We need to go back and play in the dirt, right? And I'm watching these shows and watching these, I'm checking it out. It's another show. Not giving nobody no pub, no plug or no pub, but it's it is a real live version of Yellowstone. I happened to
Mm.
see it yesterday. It's called the McBee's Dynasty. They're in
Okay.
Missouri. They got a 40,000-acre ranch.
Wow.
40,000. They are the real
Real
live
American
Yellowstone.
cowboys.
They out there playing in the dirt,
Wow.
and everybody live on the farm. Everybody got their own house on the farm, spread out. They are invested. Then nobody else said, you know what? I don't want. I'm tired of this farming. I think I want to go. You take your knowledge and you run a different business that's connected to the farm.
They all in, man. And since you giving them a shout out, I want to give a shout out to Bridge Fourth Cotton.
We didn't give them a shout out. I'm using that as our motivation for us. we need some Patterson farms,
Yeah,
some
yeah.
Epps farms. That's
Bridge
what we need.
Bridge Fourth Cotton. These are brothers that own a cotton farm in Alabama.
Oh wow,
Mm,
Generational
mm.
ownership. Bridge
hey,
Fourth Cotton.
yeah, we definitely need that. We need that type of motivation to understand this is what we're gonna be doing. We could be
Yes.
doing here in Mississippi in different ways to make money. everybody that deals with that type of thing don't actually get out there and play in the dirt, right? We need somebody that's going to do to design the bags that you put your produce in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to need something. You're going to need somebody to be a CFO. You're going to need somebody to do something that's related to what you're doing. But I'm just saying, let's become a solution for the problems that we have in the state. Find out, let's create a small model and start with a small community or a small group of folks. See how well it works, and let's continue to expand that until we can come up with a large solution to say, hey, this is what we've done. This county
Yeah.
has changed. We have changed the demographics of this county now. You know, the population has grown. And it's a matter of creating one business in one small area, and you can get a McDonald's. People are like, well, McDonald's, right? Because you got to have at least a population of 2,500 people in the city limits to get a McDonald's.
Right.
So if your town got less than 2,500, like we got less than 1,500, that's how towns end up becoming ghost towns. They start to die because they don't have enough people in it, and you start to lose resources. The economic base drop, and now you have less opportunity, less healthcare options because you don't have enough to keep folks there. You know, at the hospital in our area, I'll give you an example. We just, and very thankful, guys, to be this Tuesday at the house.
Yeah.
Last Tuesday, we was in the ER. We just got out and got back to the house. But when the census are low and there's nobody there, they had to send folks home. Right? That means no money.
Yeah.
And sometimes that because of insurance, that folks have to go home when they're not ready to go home. You know, everything is connected. So we can continue to work to make sure that we support those businesses, support the college, support Mississippi Black Pages, and continue to work on things. What we gonna do, Chuck? Where we trying to go?
Man, we're trying to get it.
Yeah, we're trying to get there, man. We're trying to get there.
Wait.
Trying to get there. Chuck, round us up.
Thanks for tuning in, man. Tapping in. All of the folks that are over on X, on Twitter, we thank y'all so much for viewing, for listening. We have 362 people that are viewing live or listening live on Twitter. But definitely, man, y'all tap in, MississippiBlackPages.com. Make sure you, when you're in Jackson, go by Hemp World South and just tap in with us. We're building better Mississippi, one business at a time.